Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand you're not allowed to come back to the United States? Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison. Do you understand by entering into a plea on this case, you will be deported?
And after talking to my client, Judge, he's worked all his life. It'll never happen again. I've learned my lesson. He says all the right things.
The court will find you guilty, sentence you to
This illegal immigrant is staring down 99 years behind bars for a mountain of drug charges. And on top of that, the judge can decide to deport him as well. The courtroom heat is intense in this one as the judge lays down the law with zero patience. And also, we're paying for public defenders to defend illegal immigrants who break the law. So I just want to know what you guys think about that. Is it fair that taxpayers cover their legal battles while they face serious charges? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But let's go ahead and dive in here and watch this criminal go from cocky to instant regret.
State versus Ulysses Gloria Benitez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Your hand, Your Honor.
Defense?
Carlos Martinez for the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Benitez?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, you received all discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
A court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Probation, this is an application. Mr. Benitez, did you review the document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication? Anything else? All right, thank you. With
Yes.
your attorney, did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Benitez, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
I did, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Mr. Benitez, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand your charge by indictment with manufacturing and delivery of controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams? That's a first degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
In my opinion, he was, Your Honor, and he is.
Has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, ma'am.
It's just so wild to me that these illegal immigrants caught trafficking drugs don't just get sent back to their own country instead. I mean, we end up paying for public defenders to fight their cases here. It just drags out the process and it wastes all of our taxpayer money. And not only that, the courts get clogged with all of this nonsense. Justice slows down, and meanwhile, the real victims out there are left waiting. So I seriously think we should be asking why we're footing the bill for legal battles that only keep these offenders in the system longer.
All right, counsel, did you have a chance to speak to an immigration attorney or have your client speak to an immigration attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, we've done both. I did, and then they did appoint Tulos. And he spoke to him last week, and he did provide a letter. And then he fully understands under Padilla, Judge, I'm obligated to tell him about his immigration warnings and possible consequences before he enters the plea, which I have, Judge.
All right. Mr. Benitez, do you understand the impact a plea in this case will have on your immigration status?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by entering into a plea on this case, you will be deported?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that you will be denied naturalization?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that you will be denied re-entry into the States?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State is silent on your application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. They're taking in consideration 2024 PF 24733. And there's to be restitution to SAPD for drug testing. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
Yeah, it is.
State is at the plea? It is not. Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 250 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
No,
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
no contest.
The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Do you wish to proceed with sentencing?
I would prefer, Your Honor.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say on in regards to the application for deferred?
Your Honor, I have spoken to the mom and the brother. He comes from a good family. He's just, and after talking to my client, Judge, he's worked all his life. So he says, you know, it was left on judgment, some easy money, but it'll never happen again. I've learned my lesson. He says all the right things, and his mom is devastated over this because he's got several brothers, Judge, that are hard workers also and have never gotten it.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court will deny your application for deferred adjudication. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. Take in consideration 2024 PF 24733. There's to be restitution to SAPD for drug testing. There's to be no re-entry into the United States. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Do you understand you're not allowed to come back to the United States?
Yes, ma'am.
If you come back to the United States, that will be a violation of your probation and you're facing 10 years in the prison if you do that. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Probation, he's not allowed re-entry back in the United States. Are any other conditions needed? All right, good luck to you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Those were the best
Hmm?
cough drops that I've heard.
Oh, if you need any more, we have some.
You know, it's, I was doing this and those are a lot.
Ah,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
You have a good one.
All right, you too.
You mess around, you find out. I'm all here for Judge Boyd's no-nonsense take on these illegal immigrants who think they can just break the law and skate by. It's just so refreshing to see a judge who doesn't waste time with sympathy when the facts are pretty clear. Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comments. But don't go anywhere because we've got an even crazier case. Up next, we've got a guy who showed up late to his sentencing hearing. And if he's found guilty here, 20 years in prison might be the least of his worries. This one's about to get wild.
Your agreement is if you don't show up for sentencing, you are subject to the full range of punishment. So my question to you is, why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years?
And we're asking you to follow the plea bargain if you would.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine, and it says that both parties agree that if he didn't show up for sentencing, he would be subject to the full range of punishment. So State, are you still proceeding with the plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor, in light of him not showing up, I believe the full range, as it says in the agreement, at this point, we'll defer to the court for the reasoning behind that he didn't show up and if it was a valid reason.
Right.
It's possible to say what.
You want to call your client as a witness to explain?
Yes.
Could you raise your right hand for me?
Raise your hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record. State your name for the record. All right, why didn't you show up for court?
Because I have some problems.
We all have problems, but you're not telling me what your problems were.
Well, first of all, my daughter had a baby, but I came up with I was sick soon, so my corona.
Everybody used coronavirus as an excuse, but did you provide any medical documentation that you had that?
Yeah, I do. I have that.
No. Did you provide any medical documentation to the court that you were ill?
I think I did. I should have. Do you have any?
I do not. Not for the date you're addressing, Judge.
Yes. So you did not. Because if you would have, I would have that. And I don't have it.
So you don't have any paperwork at all?
I don't have anything to show that you were ill, and that's the reason why you didn't show up for your sentencing. I do have that I was lenient with you to allow you to get your affairs in order and to come back on a different date for sentencing. That's what I have. So why shouldn't I sentence you to beyond the 2 years? Because that's your agreement. Your agreement is if you don't show up for sentencing, you are subject to the full range of punishment. So my question to you is, why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years?
Say that again, please.
Your agreement was that if you did not show up for your sentencing date, that your range of punishment would be up to 20 years in prison. You did not show up. So the question is, why shouldn't I send you to prison for 20 years?
I most definitely didn't understand that one.
No, you did, because it's a part of your plea bargaining agreement. And what I can tell you, and I'm sure your counsel will tell you this, and even though this is a new prosecutor to this court, I go over the plea bargaining agreement in great detail and ask on the record, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And usually, well, not usually, every time I ask the defendant first, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And they will say yes. Then I will either ask the state of the defense attorney, is that the plea bargaining agreement? And I can tell you that you were aware that you were subject to the entire range of punishment. So we're back to this. Why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years? Because that was your bargain, that if you didn't show up for court, that you will be subject to the full range of punishment. And I remember all of the people who say, give me some extra time and I will show up.
What was going on with your daughter? Yeah, I mean, she had a baby next month or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't
What
think.
do you mean she has her baby next month? You told me she already had the baby.
I'm actually losing brain cells right now. Like, how do you miss your own sentencing when the max is 20 years? Like, I can't even process that. His plea deal was literally only 2 years. But this guy decides to roll the dice and risk 18 more years just by not showing up for a few months. It's literally like giving up a shortcut and choosing the long, painful route for literally no reason. Like, who in their right mind trades months of freedom for the chance at nearly 2 decades locked up? This isn't even a gamble, it's just pure self-sabotage at this point. Honestly, it's like watching someone slam the brakes on their own future and wonder why everything falls apart. If you guys have ever seen anything crazier than this court hearing, drop it in the comments because I think this one takes the cake.
No. She went in the hospital because she was sick. I thought that she wasn't going to even, that she was going to lose the baby or whatever, you know what I mean?
And when did this happen?
Like last month.
All right, so that happened last month, so that would have been January. So that still doesn't explain why you didn't show up for your sentencing on November. You were set for sentencing on November 3rd. Here's the thing. Sometimes people don't have an excuse. Sometimes it's like, I made a bad decision. I was enjoying my free life out here, and I just didn't show up. So I'm trying to figure out, is that your case, or is there something else that was going on in your life? Because you're looking at 20 years in prison.
That he doesn't have an excuse that we want to offer at this time. He does. I mean, I agree with the court. You did admonish him. He understood that. I'm concerned. I mean, as we stand here today, he's not near as cognizant of I've dealt with as he's been in the past. I'm somewhat concerned about that, but he's not a man of means. When that November date came, his phone was cut off. We were not able to locate him. I mean, he didn't. I mean, I know I spoke to him after that when his daughter was sick, but we'd ask you not to sentence him to 20 years. We don't think that's, we hope that that's not what the court decides to do, but if the court decides, we ask the court to follow the plea bargain and perhaps give him 3 years to have an indicator that the court takes this seriously. And
All right, state.
In lieu of the explanation of the judge, is the state, with previous negotiations that they have in our file, we believe the appropriate sentence would be 5 years. 2 years.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. 4 years in the prison give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 2021 CR 2207, 2021 CR 1465, 2021 CR 2771. The court will give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
That's your signature.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Mr. Carroll, I always, when attorneys say, can you give my client some extra time to report? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I take it very seriously when I give someone time to report, because when you think about it, somebody's saying, all right, I'm going to show up and I'm going to take my prison sentence. You didn't show up. And that's a problem. And if there would have been a good explanation, things may have turned out differently.
I don't even remember even.
All right, so if you can have him have a seat, they're supposed to impact. There's not?
No.
All right, thank you.
Judge, sorry, we're just gonna go ahead and surpass that because.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, 4 years when the max was 20 is pretty much a slap on the wrist here. Let me know if you guys agree or not, but this guy lied, he disrespected the court by skipping out for months, and still only got 2 extra years added on. Honestly, he could have just taken the 2-year deal and avoided all that drama. But nope, he rolled the dice like I said, and he lost big time in this one. And this dude, he didn't really come across the sharpest either, so maybe that had something to do with it. You know, some people get dropped on their heads when they're younger. And this whole thing just feels like a reminder that sometimes the system does let people off easier than you'd expect, even when they're practically begging for the hammer. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Did the judge go too easy here? Or was the system just doing its thing? I'm curious to hear what you guys think. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I post every single day. Thank you again, and take care.